Snoop Dogg literally has his hands in everything. This man gets invited to so many things, and he is really seen as somebody who is a broad entrepreneur. Snoop Dogg doesn't even play any professional sports or have any correlation to professional sports. He's not a politician, but he showed up for the 2024 Olympics, and he was the one holding and carrying the torch in the Paris opening ceremony. Like, what, Snoopy Snoop? So when I look at Snoop Dogg's birth chart, I automatically think he is destined to have a lot of media coverage and also be centered in the areas of entrepreneurship. It's undeniable. He has a sun in Libra. He also has a moon in Scorpio, and he has a ascendant in Taurus. Just the sun in Libra and the ascendant in Taurus lets me know that he's centered around energy towards abundance and wealth, and also material gains. Another thing that really stands out is the midheaven in Capricorn. When we look at his dominant houses, they are the 7th and also the 6th and the 8th. And many of you are probably wondering why this is important. Well, with the 7th house, it's all about partnerships. So I think he is able to really create those allies and partners, and people love to be around him. We can see in the 7th house lays his sun, his Venus, and his Mercury, which definitely makes him likable to people. It also makes him balanced, where he's able to create bonds and relationships and get his communication off very sturdy. People have an emotional base to him. People like to watch Snoop Dogg because Snoop Dogg makes people happy. Like, watching him just brings a smile to your face. I do understand why people loved that gangster rap persona about him, but really when we see the lighter side of Snoop, it feels so like, Snoop is like my bestie. The sun in the 6th house, also with the energy of Libra, and also with that placement of having not just the sun, but also his Uranus and his dark Lilith, lets us know that there is a side of him that we do not see. His patterns sometimes feel a little bit unconventional, especially with that Uranus, that we feel like there's a side of him that is a little explosive. Like, while he is your bestie that you love to hang out with, don't do your bestie wrong. Don't let any haters piss off your bestie, because your bestie can be very impulsive. And we see this with Snoop, especially with that solar energy marked with Uranus and the dark Lilith, lets us know that while he is fun, friendly, he also has a little bit of a hidden side with him that he does like and work at keeping contained. When I look at his 8th house, his other dominant house, I see his Neptune and also his Jupiter. It is aligned mostly in the area of Sagittarius, which makes me feel that he is very centered around creating expansion, and also he is centered around that placement of seeing and experiencing things that bring him happiness. And that could be his dreams, that could also be certain situations that internalize him and just make him feel like very centered around some of the hidden secrets about him. Also, I feel like there is an escapism about him, especially in the area of the 8th house, having that Neptune. Like, I'm not surprised that he is a everyday smoker, especially with the Neptune in the 8th. Now, one of the things that I want to talk about is the reason why Snoop Dogg works so hard and is seen in everything. So Snoop has a Saturn in Gemini in the 2nd house, which is known as an energy of your material gains, also seen as a wealth house. And it is in retrograde. So that areas of boundaries and also responsibilities are there, especially when it comes to material items in that area of communication and analyzation. So Snoop Dogg is always thinking about the next way to create some energy around material gains. And also the fact that the Saturn is in retrograde lets me know that it's able to come to him naturally. If the Saturn was not in retrograde, I would feel like he might have a hard time balancing his money and also expressing his new analytical processes in areas of communication when it is centered around the areas of gaining. But since it is in Gemini and it's in retrograde and it's literally in opposing of the 8th house of the Sagittarius, it lets me know that it creates this alliance where people love the mysterious part, the mystical part. That energy of Snoop is being lovable. He also has this fun personality that the Gemini brings, but that Sagittarius fire lets us know that he's able to make a alignment that feels brave and courageous and step out of the box that a lot of people wouldn't think to do. Like, how many rappers would actually bring the Paris torch out for the Olympics? They'd be like, what? That doesn't make sense. But for Snoop, he's like, hey, it makes sense. I like sports, I like Paris, and I like to have a good time. And that's exactly what he is doing. When we look at the house of money and also of career and legacy, we see that it is in Aquarius of the 10th house, and also the collective. He has his North Node in Aquarius in the 10th house, which is his current house. And also we have to remember that we currently have Pluto transitioning over the 10th of his house. So that means he's for the next 20 years, Snoop's going to be changing it up. Like, Snoop is going to be changing it up. I wouldn't be surprised if he has like some type of series or, maybe like a little bit more of, I could see Snoop like telling like nursery rhymes, like almost like how Shelley Duvall did, but something like that intrigues the collective. It's fun, it's loving, and it's always like a little bit hidden. Like, I could see him do that. And then also I could see him just continue to have multiple projects, especially with that Mars. That Mars in Aquarius at 22 degrees lets me know that the collective really enjoys watching him. Actually, the Mars isn't in the 10th, it's actually in the 11th, which is the Aquarius house. So the collective loves to watch Snoop. Snoop, don't go nowhere. We want to continue to watch all the things you do. Like, we're here for it. Just make sure you are well behaved and you don't let that 8th house and that Neptune and that Jupiter get the best of you. So you're going to have to definitely watch your P's and Q's, because we do know that there is a hidden side behind that fun, loving, caring, charismatic Snoop Dogg.